So what's the mood like around this team, especially when you add into the context the fact that we got the trade deadline in 3 or 4 days?
Guys, it's never been better, honestly, in my time around the team. And it's really noticeable because we were here last year having the same conversation in a completely different direction. And I remember being in this same clubhouse in Baltimore in these same hallways when you would see players coming in and out. And John Schneider said, we just talked to him now, that guys were kind of scared to walk by his office. They were scared to make eye contact with him because that probably meant you were getting a conversation and you were getting traded. And this year is the complete other side of that. There's an energy to it. There's always some apprehension and some anxiety because maybe someone from this roster is dealt. But last year it was a fire sale, and the Blue Jays were kind of waving that flag right now in Baltimore. But this is the other side, man. This is why you play. This is what these Blue Jays players have given the front office every reason to do, which is be aggressive and go for this. You know, this should be a week that launches them forward. And they're already the best team in baseball, so getting launched forward sounds pretty good right now.
So what are you hearing in terms of what Ross and Mark could have cooking at this point as we get closer to the trade deadline?
Guys, I think it's heavy pitching still at this point of the deadline. And if MLB front offices are tight-lipped, the Blue Jays are number one in that division. But pitching continues to be what I hear most around this team. And if this was a different year in a different market, I would say they've got to go out and get that ace. You know how most years there's that rental ace who's 36, 37, they're in that one last year of a contract. This market doesn't really have that guy. Jacob deGrom isn't going to be dealt, I don't think. We saw Seth Lugo extended with the Royals yesterday. I don't think there's that top-end pitcher. I don't. But there are some mid-range guys that I don't think would really help the Blue Jays this year. That brings me to the bullpen. And a big bullpen, a super bullpen, I think is a pretty logical way to go about this, guys. They have the money to do that. They have the prospects to do that. They have the motivation to do it. It's going to be a crowded market. When you look around at top-end names like Duran, Gabe Smith, looking through Helsley, Mason Miller, like these are big primetime relievers. These are guys who can close playoff games. They will be expensive, but at this time of year, that's what you're going for. If you're the Blue Jays, it's about raising the ceiling. I don't care about a 26th guy in the roster or a 24th. You need somebody who can change a game, who can win a game in October, and that's the level the Blue Jays should be shopping at.
So, Keegan, that's what you're talking about here? We're talking like a high-end closer. We're not talking about a seventh-inning kind of guy.
Yeah, I think it needs to include a high end. Now, if you do that and you also add somebody who can pitch in that sixth, seventh, fantastic. Somebody who would do more of Jimmy Garcia's job and maybe do it alongside him when he's back, great. That's a good thing. But any way that the Blue Jays address this bullpen, guys, needs to have a headliner. It needs to have a big name because good teams have one closer. The Blue Jays are a very good team, and they have Jeff Hoffman, who can be a very good closer. But great teams and World Series teams, they have two closers. They have three, and the Jays aren't there quite yet. This bullpen's been pretty good. It's been impressive how they have pieced it together. Lots of names like Brendan Little and Braden Fisher, who I did not expect all of this from. Full credit to those guys. But when you go out and add a big name, another closer to this bullpen, suddenly it's a strength. Right now it's okay, but you can make it a real strength. And eventually, guys, the idea I keep coming back to is that in October, whether it's October 7th or 10th or 28th, there's going to be an inning that completely determines how we remember this season for the Jays. And if you have one extra closer caliber guy, that inning looks a lot better.
With Keegan Matheson, what are you hearing on Alejandro Kirk, and how are the Jays going to handle this if he is out for an extended period of time?
So Kirk is here. I saw him in the clubhouse today walking around. He did a little bit of baseball stuff today, so that's encouraging as a step one. Of course, the disclaimer is that a concussion, you never know. This is not a sprained ankle. With a concussion, there can be setbacks. It can be tricky. But everything so far, guys, is pretty encouraging. If he were not here today, I'd be worried. But he's around the clubhouse. He's hanging out with the guys, did a bit on the field earlier, apparently, John Schneider said. So if they can keep that to even just under a couple of weeks, fantastic. That's a big win. Because if you're going to go out and try to add a catcher on the trade market, I mean, good luck. You've got to bring your wallet to do that. Nobody's trading catching. I always say it's like quarterbacks in the NFL. There's just not enough. So if you're going to trade for a catcher, you are probably going to get toasted on what you have to give up. So for now, Tyler Heineman, Ali Sanchez, they can hold it down for the time being. But Alejandro Kirk, man, is a real contender for MVP on this team. They need him, and ideally they're only without him for another week. We'll see.